Good morning, members. The clerk will now lead us in prayer.
The Lord be with you. Let us pray. Lord, have mercy upon us. Lord, have mercy upon us. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness hast appointed the office of rulers and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of men and women, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us, thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in these islands. That thy blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote thy honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of these islands and those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. And this we beg for Jesus Christ's sake. Amen. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, and the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us all, evermore. Amen.
Amen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning. The House is now in session. Members, the minutes from the sittings of the 12th of June and the 26th of June have been circulated. Are there any amendments required? No amendments. The minutes will be printed as confirmed. Announcements from the governor. There are none. Or messengers from the governor, rather. There are none. Announcements by the speaker. We have been informed from the following members that they'll be absent today. Minister Lightbourne, Government Whip Terrell, MP Famous, MP Wayne Furbert, and MP Michael Fay. All have indicated their absence today. Members, I have received the annual ombudsman's report, which covers the period of the 1st of January to the 31st of December 2025. This report is submitted in accordance with Section 24(1) and 3 of the Ombudsman's Act 2004. Thank you. Messengers from the Senate? There are none. Papers and other communications to the House? We have 4 such papers today. The first is in the name of the Premier. Premier?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to the powers conferred by Section 96 of the Constitution, I have the honor to attach, submit for the consideration of the Honorable House Assembly, Supplementary Estimate Number 1 for financial year 2026-2027.
Thank you. The second paper this morning is the name of the Minister of Youth, Social Development and Seniors. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have the honor to attach and submit for the information of this Honorable House of Assembly the Human Rights Commission 2025 Annual Report.
Thank you. The next statement is in the name of the Minister of Tourism, Transport, and Culture and Sport. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have the honor to attach and submit for this information of this Honorable House of Assembly the Civil Aviation Air Transport Licensing Regulations 2026, as made by the Minister responsible for aviation in exercise of the powers conferred by Section 18 of the Civil Aviation Air Transport Licensing Act 2007.
Thank you. The second statement is also yours, Minister. Would you like to present that one?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have the honor to attach and submit for the information of the Honorable House of Assembly the Tourism Investment Rosewood Bermuda Order 2020 Revocation Notice 2026, as made by the Minister responsible for tourism in exercise of the power conferred by Section 6A1 of the Tourism Investment Act 2017. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. That brings us to the close of the papers and communications for today. We'll now move on to petitions. There are none. The next item on the order paper are statements, statements by ministers and junior ministers. And this morning, we have the first statement is from the Minister of Youth, Social Development and Sport, and Seniors, rather. Minister, would you like to present your statement?
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. Good morning. Mr. Speaker, I rise to update this honorable House on the progress of the Family Preservation Tier 2 program, an initiative launched in alignment with government's 2024 commitment to strengthen supports within the social and youth development sectors. Mr. Speaker, as part of this commitment, the Department of Child and Family Services was tasked with reintroducing an intensive community-based model of family intervention, historically known as CMIT. This enhanced model, now formally established as Family Preservation Tier 2, operates as a specialized extension of the department's existing family preservation team. Its purpose is clear: to provide acute, high-frequency intervention to families whose circumstances place their children at elevated risk of future abuse or neglect. Mr. Speaker, the need for this program is grounded in clear and compelling data. 30% of families served by family preservation were assessed as being at high risk for future child abuse or neglect. The Family Strengths and Needs Assessment conducted during this period revealed significant concerns in parenting, coping skills, and mental health, resource management, and basic needs, and substance use. Mr. Speaker, these findings mirror broader departmental trends where parenting capacity and coping skills have consistently emerged as the most significant areas of need amongst families receiving services. Mr. Speaker, families with these profiles require intensive intervention defined by increased frequency of contact, in-home coaching, and community-based support. Research and practice both confirm that when contact increases, assessment accuracy improves, intervention becomes more effective, and the time frame for reducing risk shortens. Mr. Speaker, the Tier 2 program aims to empower families to overcome adversity by addressing both immediate crisis and long-term needs. The model focuses on building resilience, strengthening protective factors, and fostering meaningful community connections through direct one-to-one support, in-home coaching, and community-based services. The program provides practical assistance at a grassroots level. Families benefit from strengthened functioning and cohesion, enhanced parenting capacity through education, modeling and coaching, and improved advocacy and access to essential community resources such as housing, financial assistance, healthcare, education, and employment. The program is designed to reduce risk factors contributing to child protection involvement and to promote sustainable change, improved coping, and long-term independence. Mr. Speaker, staff onboarding for the Family Preservation Tier 2 was completed in February of 2026. All team members have undergone comprehensive orientation training to ensure they are fully equipped to deliver the level of service required for high-risk families. Training has included therapeutic crisis intervention for families, SCARs, mandatory reporting and investigation skills, legislation training, court report writing, strategies for working with high-risk families, hoarding assessment and intervention, professional deportment and standards, activities of daily living, and structured approaches to in-home intervention. Ongoing in-service training will continue as the program matures with regular reviews of what is working well and areas requiring improvement. Mr. Speaker, at present, 10 families have been referred to the Tier 2 program from both the family preservation and foster care teams, with additional referrals currently being processed. Early feedback indicates that families are engaging well with the model and that workers are advancing in building rapport with families to address complex needs through structured high-contact intervention. Mr. Speaker, the Family Preservation Tier 2 program represents a significant step forward in our commitment to safeguarding Bermuda's children and strengthening families. By investing in intensive community-based intervention, we are breaking cycles of risk, building resilience, and supporting families in achieving long-term stability and well-being. This government remains steadfast in its dedication to ensuring that every child in Bermuda is safe, supported, and given the opportunity to thrive. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Minister, the next statement is also in the name of the same minister. Minister, would you like to continue with your second statement?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased today to submit to this honorable House the annual report of the Human Rights Commission for the year ending the 31st of December, 2025. Mr. Speaker, the Commission has a statutory remit to protect and promote human rights under the Human Rights Act of 1981. The Commission's mandate involves education, the promotion of principles of equality and non-discrimination, the investigation of alleged contraventions of the Act, and the resolution of complaints of discrimination. Mr. Speaker, as Bermuda National Human Rights Institution, the Commission plays an important role in protecting and promoting human rights while supporting the effective implementation of international human rights standards. Guided by the United Nations Paris Principles, the Commission carries out its work through complaint handling, education, outreach, advocacy, policy engagement, and advice to government and stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, the Commission serves both as a complaints handling authority and as a public resource. Through its officers, the Commission provides guidance to individual employers, service providers, landlords, educational institutions, community organizations, and the government regarding rights and obligations under Bermuda's human rights framework. The Commission further its objectives by receiving and assessing complaints of discrimination, investigating alleged contraventions of the Human Rights Act, providing voluntary mediation services, referring appropriate matters to the Human Rights Tribunal, conducting education and outreach initiatives, participating in policy reviews and consultations, providing guidance to support compliance with human rights obligations, and promoting understanding of human rights across Bermuda. Mr. Speaker, included in the annual report, you will note that during the 2025 calendar year, the Commission received 215 intakes consisting of complaints, queries, and special program applications, representing a significant increase from the previous reporting year. Of these, 96 were complaints, 118 were queries, and 1 was for a special program application. The most identified protected grounds were sex at 19%, disability at 18%, and ethnic or national origins at 14%. These figures continue to highlight the areas where members of our community most frequently experience concerns about unequal treatment. Within the protected areas of discrimination identified by complainants, employment-related discrimination accounted for 31% of reported concerns, followed by discrimination relating to goods, facilities, and services at 17%, and workplace harassment at 13%. Overall, 70% of intakes concerned employment and workplace-related matters. The Commission conducted 24 investigations during the reporting period and referred 9 matters to the Human Rights Tribunal, demonstrating a continued increase in matters progressing through the Commission's formal complaint handling process. Mr. Speaker, a major milestone during the reporting year was the publication of the report entitled Disability Inclusion in Bermuda, Findings and Recommendations from a National Consultation. This report was informed by extensive consultation with more than 300 residents and was grounded in the principle of nothing about us without us. The report provides a framework of recommendations to advance disability inclusion in Bermuda and to support implementation of Bermuda's obligations on the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. The consultation revealed that nearly 1 in 2 respondents with disabilities reported experiencing discrimination or harassment and highlighted the need for stronger accessibility, accountability, representation, and coordinated national action. Mr. Speaker, the Commission also strengthened its public education and outreach efforts during 2025, delivering 71 education outreach and advocacy activities, including presentations, consultations, workshops, community discussions, and public awareness initiatives. The Commission continued to collaborate with a wide range of organizations, including Aging and Disability Services, Bermuda is Love, Beyond Inclusion, Vision Bermuda, the Bermuda National Library, Imagine Bermuda, Out Bermuda, and many other community partners. The Commission further expanded its public engagement through the formal integration of social media into its communications strategy. Between March and December 2025, the Commission's digital platforms generated more than 194,000 views, reached over 600,000 individuals, and recorded approximately 5,400 interactions, helping to make information on human rights more accessible to the public. Mr. Speaker, the Commission also represented Bermuda internationally through participation in the Caribbean Disability Network Conference in Barbados under the theme Breaking Barriers, Advancing Inclusive Education for All Abilities. This engagement strengthened regional collaboration and allowed Bermuda to share lessons learned from its Disability Inclusion Report while contributing to the broader discussions on accessibility and disability rights throughout the Caribbean. The Commission continued its advisory role to government and stakeholders, participating in approximately 20 policy reviews and consultations on matters including constitutional reform, disability rights, age discrimination, pay transparency, HIV criminalization, and human rights protections. Mr. Speaker, in closing, I wish to take this opportunity to thank the Human Rights Commission for its dedication to the advancement of human rights in Bermuda and for stewarding the Commission's mandate with integrity and excellence. In accordance with Section 38 of the Human Rights Act 1981, I am pleased to have laid before this honorable House the Human Rights Commission Annual Report for the year ending the 31st of December 2025. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Members, the next statement this morning is in the name of the Minister of Health. Minister.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to address a matter of significant importance affecting Bermudians who require essential medical treatment overseas but find themselves unable to travel because they are subject to international travel restrictions, commonly referred to as stop lists, which may arise from a variety of circumstances. Mr. Speaker, while Bermuda provides high-quality health care locally, certain specialized treatments, including advanced cancer care, cardiac interventions, organ transplantation, and complex surgeries, often require referral to specialist institutions overseas. When an individual is prohibited from entering the country where that treatment is available because of a past criminal conviction, the consequences can be profound and may directly affect their health, well-being, and quality of life. Mr. Speaker, these consequences are not limited to those seeking medical treatment themselves. International travel restrictions may also prevent an individual from accompanying a spouse, parent, child, or other loved one who must travel overseas for urgent or life-saving medical care. For many patients, particularly children, the elderly, or those facing serious illness, the presence of a trusted family member provides essential emotional support, assists with medical decision-making, and helps navigate complex healthcare systems. Being unable to accompany a loved one during one of the most difficult periods of their life can place additional emotional strain on both the patient and their family and may result in significant practical and financial challenges. Mr. Speaker, it is important that the public understands the nature of these restrictions. Entry into any foreign country is a privilege and is governed by the laws of that sovereign nation. For example, the United States may refuse entry, in some cases permanently, to individuals whose criminal history renders them inadmissible under U.S. immigration law, including certain controlled substance offenses and other criminal offenses. These determinations are made solely by U.S. immigration authorities based on an individual's personal circumstances. They are not decisions made by the government of Bermuda. Mr. Speaker, the public should also be aware that a conviction which is regarded as spent under Bermuda's laws may nevertheless continue to be considered by U.S. immigration authorities when determining admissibility. The government of Bermuda cannot overturn, influence, or intervene in decisions regarding an individual's eligibility to enter another country. Mr. Speaker, for those affected, there is a process to apply for a travel waiver. However, this is a discretionary process that can take many months and in some cases more than a year. While an interview may be expedited in exceptional circumstances, the required security and background screening must still be completed. Consequently, a travel waiver should not and cannot be relied upon for urgent or emergency medical travel. Mr. Speaker, when a patient requiring urgent treatment cannot travel to the destination where the most appropriate care is available, alternative overseas treatment options must be explored. However, arranging treatment in another jurisdiction can result in significant delays, increased logistical complexity, and substantially higher cost, all at a time when timely access to care may be critical. In some circumstances, alternative treatment options may simply not be available within the time frame required. Mr. Speaker, this issue serves as a powerful reminder that the choices we make today can have consequences that extend far beyond the immediate moment. A criminal conviction may not only affect employment opportunities, educational prospects, or international travel for business or leisure, it may also limit access to life-saving medical treatment, prevent someone from supporting a loved one during a serious illness, and create barriers at times when family presence matters most. Mr. Speaker, the decisions made in youth or early childhood, often without consideration of their long-term implications, can continue to affect an individual decades later. A single poor decision may have lasting consequences for one's health, family responsibilities, and ability to respond to life's unforeseen challenges. Mr. Speaker, I therefore encourage all residents, and particularly our young people, to carefully consider the long-term consequences of their actions. Protecting one's future means preserving opportunities, not only the opportunity to work, study, and travel, but also the ability to access essential health care when needed and to stand beside those we love during their greatest time of need. Mr. Speaker, the government will continue to support residents in assessing medically necessary care whenever possible. However, we must recognize that decisions made by foreign governments regarding entry are beyond Bermuda's control. Protecting one's future ability to travel internationally for health care, family responsibilities, and other important life events is, in many respects, a matter of personal responsibility. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. That brings us to close. Sorry, turn the page. Sorry, Minister. We have one more statement this morning, and that's from the Minister of Economy and Labor. Minister, you present your statement for us, please.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to provide this Honorable House with an update on significant workforce development initiatives that continue to strengthen Bermuda's labor market and advance the government's commitment to creating meaningful opportunities for Bermudians. These initiatives include continued implementation of the Youth Employment Strategy through our summer employment programs and the successful launch and ongoing enhancements of Bermuda Job Connect. These initiatives demonstrate the government's commitment to ensuring Bermudians have access to education, skills, practical experience, and employment opportunities necessary to participate fully in Bermuda's economy. Mr. Speaker, the future strength of Bermuda's economy depends upon the strength of its workforce. For that reason, this government continues to invest strategically in programs that prepare Bermudians for employment, support employers in developing local talent, and create sustainable career pathways that respond to both current and emerging labor market needs. During this past quarter, the Department of Workforce Development successfully delivered several significant initiatives while simultaneously relocating its operations to Bermuda College and maintaining uninterrupted service to the public. This level of operational delivery reflects the dedication, professionalism, and resilience of the department staff and our valued partners across both the public and private sectors. Mr. Speaker, the Youth Employment Strategy remains one of the department's flagship initiatives and continues to play a vital role in preparing Bermuda's young people for a successful participation in workforce. More than a summer employment program, the strategy provides structured pathways from education into employment by combining practical work experience, professional development, mentoring, and career planning. Planning for the 2026 Youth Employment Program commenced months before the first student entered the workplace. Departmental officers coordinated employer recruitment, student registration, application assessment, placement matching, employment contracts, payroll processing, orientation sessions, and ongoing engagements with students, parents, and employers. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to report that the department successfully placed 174 students into meaningful work experience opportunities during the 2026 program. This includes 102 college and university students participating in the summer employment program and 72 high school students participating in the summer internship program. These placements were made possible through the continued support of government ministries, public authorities, educational institutions, and private sector employers who remain committed to investing in Bermuda's future workforce. Their willingness to provide mentorship, supervision, and practical workplace experience continues to strengthen opportunities for our young people while building the next generation of Bermudian professionals. Mr. Speaker, the department recognizes that meaningful employment begins with meaningful preparation. This year's orientation program was delivered under the theme Level Up, from participation to professionalism. Students participated in structured sessions designed to prepare them for workforce successes through training in professionalism, workplace expectations, effective communication, teamwork and collaboration, ethics and accountability, professional branding, financial literacy, career planning, and developing a growth mindset. These sessions encourage participants to view themselves not simply as just employees, but as emerging professionals beginning their career journeys. Throughout the summer, students have continued to receive career coaching and professional development opportunities designed to reinforce workplace learning and encourage continual personal growth. In partnership with the Office of Youth Affairs, program participants also attended the National Youth Conference, where they engaged in workshops focusing on leadership development, public speaking, civic engagement, innovation, media communication, and problem solving. These experiences complement workforce learning by equipping our young people with the confidence, resilience, and transferable skills necessary to thrive throughout their career. Mr. Speaker, preparing young Bermudians for the future of work also requires investment in emerging skills. Accordingly, the department expanded its employability training by introducing courses in artificial intelligence for professional productivity, workplace communication, and emotional intelligence and resilience. Through our partnership with MASC, participants also benefited from practical workshops designed to strengthen workplace readiness, communications, emotional control under pressure, and personal habits necessary to sustain long-term employment. These initiatives reflect the department's commitment to ensuring that Bermuda's workforce is prepared not only for today's labor market, but also for changing demands of tomorrow's economy. The success of the Youth Employment Program demonstrates what can be achieved when government, employers, and educators and community partners work collaboratively towards a common objective. Every student placed represents another Bermudian gaining practical experience, developing confidence, and taking an important step towards long-term employment and career success. Mr. Speaker, while investing in Bermuda's youth remains a priority, government also recognizes the importance of modernizing how Bermudians connect with employment opportunities throughout every stage of their careers. For that reason, the department successfully launched Bermuda Job Connect on April 6, 2026, replacing the former Bermuda Job Board with a comprehensive digital workforce platform designed to support job seekers, employers, educators, and workforce partners through one integrated system. Unlike its predecessor, the Bermuda Job Connect is not simply an online vacancy board. It represents a significant transformation in the delivery of workforce development services, providing career planning tools, employability resources, labor market information, online learning opportunities, and enhanced employer recruitment capabilities. The platform enables individuals to create professional profiles, explore career pathways, access training opportunities, and manage employment applications. While employers benefit from improved recruitment tools, organizational profiles, application management features, and workforce data that supports more informed hiring decisions. Mr. Speaker, the successful implementation of the Bermuda Job Connect occurred during one of the department's busiest operational periods. Despite competing priorities, the department successfully delivered this important digital transformation through careful planning, collaboration, and unwavering commitment to the public. Recognizing that technology alone does not guarantee success, the department invested significantly in efforts in supporting employers and job seekers throughout the transition. The team worked closely with the platform developers to provide employer onboarding, technical assistance, platform demonstrations, workshops, and one-on-one consultations. Weekly meetings with developers enable continual refinement of the platform and ensured that users' feedback informed ongoing system improvements. Mr. Speaker, early results demonstrating encouraging adoption by Bermuda's workforce and employer community. Since the launch of the new site, there have been 1,199 users registered on the profile, 80 organizations were successfully onboarded, 167 employment opportunities were actively advertised, 1,509 job applications were submitted, 442 active job seekers were utilizing the platform. More than 2,600 career card views were recorded. 130 online learning courses were in progress, and users collectively recorded 16,500 hours of employability engagement. The department will continue to enhance the platform by expanding employer participation, strengthening workforce analysis, increasing online learning opportunities, and further integrating apprenticeship and career development services into one seamless workforce ecosystem. I wish to express my sincere appreciation to the Director, management team, and dedicated staff of the Department of Workforce Development for their professionalism, innovation, and commitment to serving the people of Bermuda. I also thank our employer partners, educational institutions, industry representatives, and community organizations whose collaboration continues to make these achievements possible. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Members, that brings us to a close of the statements by ministers and junior ministers for this morning. The next item are reports of committees, and there are none. The next Premier questions. Where is he to right now? Where's Premier?
I'll go find him. He was in. I'm upstairs.
We're starting the question period now, and I'm going to how long you come back? Actually, if you want to switch, do he need to switch it right now? Do you need to switch the order? Did he resolve what he was trying to resolve? Okay, go ahead. Okay. I was going to switch the order. Okay. We'll do the Premier's question now. And the first question this morning is from the opposition leader. Opposition leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Premier, demographic decline and a shrinking workforce, continued emigration, and a birth rate below replacement level represents Bermuda's greatest long-term challenge. What population does the government believe Bermuda requires to sustain our economy, healthcare system, public services, and what measurable strategy has been adopted to achieve this objective?
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. In regards to the opposition leader's question, I cannot give him a figure off the top of my head. I know that there's been reports on this that were previously done. I think they were tabled in this House and debated in this House, so I'd ask the honourable member to refer to those reports.
Supplementary?
Supplementary. Would the Honourable Premier tell us that he does not have a target population for Bermuda to sustain its economy going forward?
Mr. Speaker, that's not what I said. What I said is that we've done reports on this particular matter, which have been tabled in this House, and I'd ask the honourable member to review those reports. He asked me for a figure off the top of my head, and I'm not going to give him a figure off the top of my head. There was research, there was work that was done on that, tabled in this House, and debated in this House.
Sure. Supplementary or new question?
Supplementary. Mr. Speaker. So the Honourable Premier and Finance Minister is not off the top of his head able to tell us what population Bermuda needs in order to sustain itself with its economy, considering what the major issue we have with a death rate that is above our population repopulation, and with the emigration that is continuing to have. This has to be one of the major things that he would be thinking about, so he should have a number that he could at least tell the population and the people in this House.
The report's done.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not entirely certain if there was a question in that, but the answer is the same as I gave before. There was the honourable member started in regards to a question related to population, et cetera, all the rest. I had said that the government has published reports and that those reports have been debated in the Honourable House. The honourable member can go ahead and refer to that.
Thank you. New question?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honourable Premier, throughout your premiership, you have spoken about economic diversification, yet Bermuda's economy remains overwhelmingly dependent on international business. Can the Honourable Premier tell Bermudians what sector or industry the government believes will drive Bermuda's economy over the next 20 years outside of international business?
Mr. Speaker, the government debated an entire economic development strategy inside of this Honourable House, and that particular matter was approved by this Honourable House. An economic development strategy lays out 5 particular pillars, deals with strengthening what we have and expanding what we have, and I'll ask the Honourable Member to refer to that document, which was debated and passed and approved in this Honourable House.
Supplementary?
Supplementary. So would the Honourable Premier tell the House and the people of Bermuda whether he believes that any diversification in our economy has worked under his administration?
The answer, Mr. Speaker, is unquestionably yes.
Supplementary.
Yes, supplementary, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, could the Premier give the Honourable House and the public of Bermuda any indication of what that diversification is and what the positives that he can speak to, other than international business continues to be the pillar that is running everything in this country?
Mr. Speaker, the growth in financial services and expansion of financial services is important. The economic development strategy speaks to building on what we have and then expanding into other places, Mr. Speaker. So let's talk about economic diversification and what has taken place. We now recognize there's a $100 million project in Southside, recognizing from Google from the very beginning, where we spoke about the fact that we could have international and a technology part, Mr. Speaker, on matters related to financial services, the diversification of the financial services landscape, Mr. Speaker, with additional things which are coming, which were related inside of the economic development strategy. On matters related for tourism, we have the largest tourism investment in this country's history. Significant additional matters that are related to tourism investment orders and investments into the country, Mr. Speaker. The economic development strategy lays out, we build on what we have, we also go to other sectors, and I think there's demonstrable progress in that. And if the honourable member will not accept that $100 million investment from Google on technology matters and other things on subsea cables is not diversification, which was clearly stated in the economic development strategy, then I'm not entirely certain what qualifies for him.
Third question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Premier, your government frequently highlights increases in pension, financial assistance, and other benefits as they increase the safety net that the middle class is falling into. Has the government measured whether the average Bermudian household has greater purchasing power today than when he first became the Premier?
Mr. Speaker, it is clear that wages are rising faster than inflation. That is what we've seen. We've seen median incomes come up. We've seen all the rest. We've seen the measures of which we taken to increase purchasing power for persons as well. So it is important to note that over the time period, that is what we've seen, Mr. Speaker. In addition, whether it's from the public sector workers, in addition, whether it is the matters related to the reduction of taxes and making sure persons, the average Bermudian, Mr. Speaker, over the time of which we've been in office, had paid $8,000 less in taxes. That is an average Bermudian. An average family means more than $15,000 less in taxes than we had when we came into office. We continue to make sure, whether it's pensions, whether it's boosting income levels for financial assistance, whether it's making sure that we have additional benefits that are available, whether it's expansion of childcare so that persons who are making up to $130,000 have access to assistance in childcare. We have made sure that we have supported persons across the board, Mr. Speaker, and on that we are going to continue to support persons across the board. Yes, let us not forget the minimum wage, and let us not also forget, Mr. Speaker, that we're doing another pension increase today. That is what we're doing, Mr. Speaker. It is about continuing to build on the record that this government has established.
Supplementary?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, outside of the people that have the ability to work in international business, the people in Bermuda that the Premier continues to refer to, that he's giving more benefits to, are they the ones that are supposed to look at those increases and whether they match the increase in the cost of living? Are they able to say that they can survive better now compared to when the Premier took over as the leader?
Mr. Speaker, they left persons with the highest tax burden in history. We have cut taxes for working people. We have provided the boost. We provide the assistance. They told seniors the money doesn't grow on trees. We made sure they kept up with the rate of inflation, Mr. Speaker. So unquestionably, the record, Mr. Speaker, is better than when we took office.
Thank you. Yeah, second sub?
Second sub. So, Mr. Speaker, I guess the Premier is stating for the population that are listening that the benefits that he is giving are making them feel that they are better off today than when it started, because the cost of living, the cost of food and electricity and health care, the burdens of everyday people, he is saying that his government has made all of those people feel better over the last 8 years.
Mr. Speaker, I could honestly answer this question for the next 22 minutes. I'm not going to, because I can go through the entire gamut, Mr. Speaker. So when we want to talk about compare and contrast, let's start on item number one, the issue of gas prices, Mr. Speaker. What we have been through during our time in office has been two major gas spikes. And when that party doubled taxes on gasoline, it was this party's fiscal discipline and management of the budget that enabled us to eliminate the taxes on gasoline and keep in a price freeze to make sure that people were protected from the pump. Now let's go over the honorable member is just sitting there chirping when he knows that it is completely not factual. So let's go on to electricity prices, Mr. Speaker. Let's move on to electricity prices. Whereas they doubled the price, the taxes on gasoline, Mr. Speaker, they don't want to hear the question. So when they talk, I will stop until they stop to listen. I'll speak to that.
Speak to me. I'll speak to that. Members, you want to hear, you ask a question, you want to hear the answer. We've got to hear the answer. Continue, Premier.
So here we are, Mr. Speaker. So, on the matter related to electricity taxes, the honorable members, the honorable party opposite, doubled the tax on electricity, Mr. Speaker. This party, through our fiscal discipline, eliminated that tax entirely, Mr. Speaker, making sure that savings were passed on to persons. I can go on to payroll taxes again to make sure that we recognize that persons who are making under $132,000 a year are paying less in in taxes, meaning that there is more money in their pockets, Mr. Speaker. Shall we go on to the other matters that are related to assistance for families? I've spoken about childcare, Mr. Speaker. I've spoken, Mr. Speaker.
Talking right.
I'm fine, but it's as though if they forget the record, Mr. Speaker. It's as though if they don't want to recognize the particular matters that have been progressed forward, Mr. Speaker. It is amazing. So when we talk about these things, Mr. Speaker, the honorable member wants to say that payroll tax changes, that pension increases, that record agreements with public sector workers to go back to historic pay levels, which were reduced underneath their term in office, don't matter. But guess what, Mr. Speaker? They do matter. They do matter to the persons in this country. They do matter to the persons who are working in construction. They do matter to those persons who are working in construction, Mr. Speaker, who may be on average salaries, who would have been paying $8,000 less taxes in the time that we've been in office than if it was the opposite party, Mr. Speaker. When you put more money into people's pockets, it gives them more ability to do. And what are we doing otherwise, Mr. Speaker? Record investments in affordable housing, which you've seen from the Honorable Deputy Premier. We are going to continue to expand, Mr. Speaker. We're going to continue to press ahead. And we are able to do this because of our sound management of the budget. We can go back to the first question that he asked, Mr. Speaker, because the first question he asked was about economic diversification. We tabled an economic recovery plan. We tabled an economic development strategy. We are executing on those particular matters. And, Mr. Speaker, we're continuing to press ahead.
Thank you. Opposition Leader, you've used all three of your questions. The next member who indicated they have questions today is MP Weeks. Would you like to put your question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning. Mr. Speaker, few issues matter more to Bermudians than the security of a place to call home. Those of us like myself that out there canvassing, we receive a lot of calls about housing and how can we assist as members of parliament. So can the Honorable Premier tell this House how this government is delivering on its commitment to provide affordable housing for the people of Bermuda?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank the honourable member for his question. I wish to also take the opportunity to pay tribute to the time in which he served and worked as Minister of National Security, and recognizing that he can. Are you okay? And continues to be a valued member of the government benches. Mr. Speaker, I thank the honourable member for his question because housing, as we recognize and understand, is not an abstract issue. And for the Bermudians to find a safe and stable place to live, whether young families can plan their future or whether seniors can live and remain secure in their country. What we'll recognize, Mr. Speaker, and I think it's important to contrast the record of delivery on housing over the last 5 years, Mr. Speaker. We can even go longer than that. Over the record. Oh, the honourable member wants to go to 30 years? Oh, they want to go to 30 years, Mr. Speaker? They want to talk about Laughlin's. They want to talk about Southside. They want to talk about all those other housing developments. We can go back there, Mr. Speaker, because we recognize what they have not done. But let's go, Mr. Speaker. A few weeks ago.
It's amazing. Talk to the chair. Listening audience is on the radio is waiting to hear your answer.
Mr. Speaker, a few weeks ago, the government outlined a comprehensive multi-site plan to invest an estimated $150 million into the delivery of 229 residential units across Bermuda. We know that those particular matters are being advanced. In addition to that, and we know that we're going to see is advanced precast concrete construction that is going to take place, whether or not those are properties in the east end of the island and also the west end of the island. But, Mr. Speaker, the reality is that is part of a much wider effort. That is just the latest phase. We know about the significant number of units that are being renovated and brought back into use, whether they be at Harmony, whether they be in various places. And in addition to that, Mr. Speaker, and this is what's important. This is what is also important, Mr. Speaker. It's important to recognize that it is multifaceted. So whether or not we're talking about housing for seniors, whether or not we're talking about housing for young people, whether or not we're talking about housing for families, all of these matters are being progressed by the Deputy Premier and the Bermuda Housing Corporation to ensure that we can. The Honorable Deputy Premier said and promised that we're going to put out an affordable housing strategy to make sure we advance those particular matters. We are, and that is what's important, Mr. Speaker, because housing, just as it is in Bermuda, Mr. Speaker, is an issue globally. And from our perspective, we are going to continue to work and make policies that are going to make sure that more housing is available for Bermudians.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thanks for that, Mr. Premier. Mr. Speaker, can the Honorable Premier advise what this program will mean specifically for my constituents and families in the central parishes?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I can speak on matters related to the Central Parish that we've completed new units at Harmony Terrace and delivered homes in Middletown as well. But what I can say, Mr. Speaker, is globally, whether or not it is in the east end of the island at Tommy Fox Road in St. David's, where new homes are being built as part of the first 84-unit phase, at Channel House, where we're doing retrofitting as well, specifically for senior living. As we know, that senior living is a challenge. And what's important, Mr. Speaker, as you recognize, is as you expand housing supply, persons can move from one place into something that's more available, which might create additional supply in other places. So that is also important, Mr. Speaker. At Battery Road, the Chelsea Apartments, that are other places in the east that are also being done, that are being renovated and breathed back to use to families that need them. So whether it's in the east end of the island, Mr. Speaker, whether it's the central end of the island, or whether it's the west end of the island, we are continuing to advance on affordable housing projects under the leadership of the Honorable Deputy Premier.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, and thank you. Mr. Speaker, can the Honorable Premier remind this House how this government's record on delivering homes for Bermudians compares to that of the former administration?
Mr. Speaker, can I ask the honourable member to repeat his question? There's too much chirping.
Member, could you repeat your question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, can the Honorable Premier remind this House how this government's record on delivering homes for Bermudians compares to that of the former administration?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I thank the honourable member. I thank the honourable member for his question.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
Yeah, the honourable member, unfortunately, is misleading us. He already answered that in the questions before that. He's already answered it. He did the comparison as to what he thought we did and what they did. He already did it. In addition to that, the housing minister has already put that in the public domain and answered the same question, the exact same question. To ask for a reminder is duplicitous.
Members, when asking questions, be mindful of the fact that if the information is already in public domain, you're limiting the question, the answer, the person who answers in what they can say.
Mr. Speaker,
You didn't even do
I note that the honourable member has asked for a comparison. And I think that it's important, Mr. Speaker.
Order, Mr. Speaker. The honourable member is misleading the House. I did not ask for a comparison. I said that the comparison has already been made.
He was talking about the member with the question.
And Mr. Speaker?
No, that's all right, that's all right.
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member has asked for a comparison, and I think it is incredibly appropriate.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
The comparisons, the comparisons are in the public domain because they were provided by comprehensive briefs from the housing minister in prior sittings. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member has asked for a comparison. And when we talk about a comparison in housing policy from the former government to this government, it could not be more stark, Mr. Speaker. It couldn't be more stark because what we have seen, Mr. Speaker, since the pandemic is record investment in affordable housing. Hundreds of units that have been brought online, that have been renovated, persons that are being able to get affordable housing options. In addition to that, Mr. Speaker, it is not just where it's talking about house building. Let us not forget it was this particular government that not only expanded the capability for Bermudians to get houses through the Mortgage Guarantee Program, which has delivered multiple Bermudians being able to own their first home, reduce mortgage rates, reduce down payments as well. Those are the measures of which this government has done, Mr. Speaker. And so it is very interesting to see from contrast perspective From a contrast perspective, whether it was this Minister of Housing, whether it's a minister who had responsibility for housing before, the investment that has been made into Bermuda Housing Corporation has been at record levels, which has seen hundreds of units that have been delivered. What did they deliver when they're in office, Mr. Speaker? They finished one progressive Labour Party project that they downsized, that they then criticize now because they didn't downsize any more housing, Mr. Speaker. And then for the rest of their time, they delivered not a single affordable home, Mr. Speaker. The record of zero versus the record of hundreds is a very appropriate, and we will continue to make sure that the people of this country recognize and remember which government is going to deliver affordable housing and is committed to putting the money to do so. Oh yes, Mr. Speaker, let me not forget, the money in which they canceled those houses, we still have to pay money for it.
Mr. Speaker, standing point of order.
Point of order.
Standing order 1911F, improper motive. The Premier knows that the reason the OBA had to cancel those projects is because they were left with a massive deficit, which they had to borrow money just to pay the civil servants. So they did not want to cancel housing. They wanted to pay the civil servants. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That completed the questions from MP Weeks. The next question this morning is from the actual member who just sat down. MP Dakuda, would you like to put your question now?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Honorable Premier will recall that there is in the budget was a $14 million quote-unquote centrally managed fund that did not have any specific projects allocated to it or identified. Have any specific projects yet been identified and selected or approved to be funded by those funds? Thank you.
Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. To my knowledge, I believe there's been one approval, two approvals, one for matters related to entrepreneurship and for the BEDC, advancing national entrepreneurship policy, and the other one is matters related to artificial intelligence. Happy to get these specific details to the honourable member. Was planning on discussing those particular matters when we did the supplementaries next week.
Supplementary.
Yes. Could the minister advise what the amounts were and how the amounts were determined and approved? Thank you.
It was amounts that were requested by the particular ministries. I don't have those figures off the top of my head. I do know that out of the total $14 million, we have not even come close to half or something. But as I said, we're discussing supplementary estimates next week. I was expecting to make sure that those particular details were shared at that particular point in time. But happy to get the specific details to the honourable member. As matters related to finances, et cetera, are perfectly legitimate matters for scrutiny in this House and have no issue sharing those. Just don't have them off the top of my head, so I don't want to give them.
Sure. Second sub or, okay. The next question this morning is from the Opposition Whip. Opposition Whip, would you like to put your question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Hey, good morning, Premier. Considering housing is on the docket this morning, would the Premier consider the fact that 79 units were built at Grand Atlantic for residential homes by the PLP government? 79 units were built for residential housing. It has become a basketball of what should it be. Does the Premier believe that that was a wise investment, wasting taxpayers' money to have it for residential, as they talk about building all of these homes, and they had the opportunity to put 79 units in place and to put Bermudians into it? We are now, years later, bringing in housing.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
The honourable member is misleading the House by not acknowledging the impact that the OBA had on the project when the government was trying to move it forward by saying it was going to fall into the ocean, that people shouldn't be able to live there, and then used it for...
That is not a point of order. Thank you very much. It didn't even finish the question. He's trying to finish it for me.
Yeah, what's your question?
So, well, now that he said that, considering the fact that this PLP government wasted millions of dollars for residential homing to then put it into a project for a hotel that blew up like dynamite, to now trying to decide, and it's still not full, Mr. Speaker, could the...
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. The honourable member is misleading the House. I said in this House last week in my ministerial statement that is 100% full.
Thank you. But this was not for low cost. It's for people who can afford it. They built those original homes for people who needed low-cost housing. So you can't hide behind the fact that now you're charging $3,000 for a unit for people, foreigners, who can afford to rent it. So was that a good investment in the taxpayers' money by the PLP government?
Okay, that's your question. The question was it a good investment?
Mr. Speaker, that was possibly the longest question I've ever heard asked in this House, and so I'm happy. I'm happy to answer the question, Mr. Speaker, because let's look back at the history, and I think it's important to remember the history, because this project that was built over the exact same successful model that has delivered a significant amount of affordable housing at Laughlin's. Let's remember, it was the exact same model. Different property, same developer, same Bermuda Housing Corporation, same thing, etc. When those properties went up there, Mr. Speaker, it was the one Bermuda line, I think at that point in time was the United Bermuda Party. Then it, switched, maybe it was the BDA, and then, morphed into what's it called? So it's all three. The combined opposition at that point in time, Mr. Speaker, then said, Mr. Speaker, and I quote, as we all know, these things will fall into the water. They will not be safe. And so, Mr. Speaker, it is quite rich for those individuals to then wonder why persons didn't want to buy houses when they sat there and said they're going to fall into the water. But let us continue, Mr. Speaker, because it's important to remember that when they became the government, and this member may have actually been... Sorry? They then decided that after scaring people, so they could not then sell the houses, they decided that they were going to change their project. So that's fine. The project was changed, and it was however, and that's important to note, Mr. Speaker. It's important to note that the project, it would not be safe, but yet they managed to find a way to house America's Cup people inside of those particular units. I digress, Mr. Speaker. Let us move forward, Mr. Speaker. So we get to the political perspective. There is a view trying to make sure that we make the numbers and the figures work. And so there was a view and a proposal to move forward on matters related to the conversion of that particular property to a matter of a hotel property. Went through that. All those things have been spelled out and shared here in this particular Honorable House, debated many points in time. Where we got to is that we said, at the end of the day, with the things that were happening, we need to make another change. The reality is, Mr. Speaker, good governments observe where they have their particular situations and make adjustments where it's necessary. Here is reality, Mr. Speaker. Number one, the units are fully rented. Number two, they are not all rented at market rates. There are units that are rented at discounted rates for Bermudians that are returning home, which is important, Mr. Speaker, because we are making sure that we use everything at our avenue and disposal to ensure that we will continue to house Bermudians. So the honorable member has asked a question as to whether or not this made sense. I would say at the very beginning, the investment was sound as it was built off the exact same model that delivered significant affordable housing at Laughlin's. And if it was not for the sabotage of the opposition at the time, we wouldn't probably not be having this conversation and debate at this time.
Thank you.
Supplemental.
Supplementary?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, you have a supplementary.
Yes. So then, considering the answer that...
If your question could be a little shorter...
Considering the answer that the Premier has just given, would the Premier consider it to be duplicitous and somewhat hypocritical that if he says that the OBA said it was going to fall in the water, after the OBA was governed, they had a second shot at this property, and they continued on to make it a hotel. He's blaming us for making it a hotel, but he continued to make it a hotel. Is it duplicitous that he did not go back to his original design by the PLP government to put Bermudians in affordable housing by continuing to put in a hotel?
What's your point of order?
My point of order is that just for memory's sake, I was the minister in 2011. Allow me to give you the point of order.
Wait. I want to hear what the point of order is.
is misleading the House, Mr. Speaker. And I had the facts. I was that minister in 2000. There you know. I was there. So when the PLP returned to power, it was difficult telling our people about the low-cost housing.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. This is a point of clarification. We are not accepting a point of clarification.
The point of order was that you were the minister. That's all I got out of that. So what was the point of order that you were trying to do rather than go to a long statement? I'm trying to get a statement.
He doesn't have one.
Okay. You want to?
It was misleading the House, Mr. Speaker.
Let the Premier respond. I think the Premier was ready to respond.
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member has asked whether or not the project should have been changed or not changed, Mr. Speaker. The reality is right now, Bermudians are currently being housed at that property. There are those that are there below market rents. We are using everything at our disposal while also, Mr. Speaker, providing record investments in affordable housing across this country.
Thank you. Members, that brings us to the close of the 30 minutes for the Premier's question. We'll now start the clock at the 60 minutes for the regular questions. And we'll begin with the fact that there are written questions. And the written questions are both some for an oral response and some for a written response. And we'll start with the written responses first, and the clock begins. The first written question was from the opposition leader to the minister, would have been the junior minister at the time, but the Minister of Education sits here now. And I believe you already have the answers?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The second question, again, at the time was for the junior minister, but now the minister sits here, and that was from MP Talker, and that again was related to education. Do you have your written answers?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, thank you.
The third question is an oral question, so it'll be dealt with here on the floor, and that's from MP King to the minister. And MP King, would you like to put your question now? MP King stepped out. We'll move on. The next question is, again, an oral question, and that's from MP Smith, MP Linda Smith, and that's to the Minister for Education. Would you like to put your question now?
Yes, I would. Good morning, Mr. Speaker, and good morning, members of the House and the listening audience. My question is, given that much, if not all, of the Planning Department's public services are automated via its portal, will the Honorable Minister please inform this Honorable House about what the Planning Department is doing to ensure that its services are fairly accessible to all of the population, particularly our seniors and vulnerable people who cannot easily navigate the department's technology?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for that question. I will preference this by saying it is not that the department is, I think it's the question said, what are they starting to do? This has always been the case with the Department of Planning, and that is the reception front desk is available during regular business hours to answer any questions and assist those who are unfamiliar or have challenges with the department's online system. The department has always had kiosks in the reception area for officers to assist members of the public with their queries and to demonstrate how to find and submit information online.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. Yes, I do. Inaccessibility to access is access denied, and does the minister agree with that? And if so, for senior citizens and vulnerable and the disabled people to make their way into the planning department to ask questions or get, general information and quick answers to questions to determine whether or not what they're seeing is a problem and whether there should be some enforcement or something can be done to help them with the predicament that they find themselves in, is very difficult. And so my question is, while other people can access answers to questions via technology, in many cases, senior citizens can't access that because they don't have the abilities to navigate the technology. But is there anybody who's answering the phone, a hotline, somebody they can talk to, because they actually give up because they feel like they can't get the answers that they need? So that's really the bulk of my question. Thank you.
I don't know.
Hey, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thought I did answer that by saying the front desk is available to answer questions. The telephone number is a public number, and if you can dial and call in, someone will answer the phone and provide you with the answers. If they wish to come up to the department, they will be assisted in navigating anything they need to find on the computer and shown how that process actually works. The building that they are in has been recently renovated. It is fully accessible based on the Department of Planning's requirements that all new buildings be accessible. So anyone can come into that building, whether they're in a wheelchair, whether they're otherwise disabled, get into the elevator, come up to the third floor, and everything they need to find out is accessible. If they cannot make it in, they can pick up the phone and call, and they will be assisted by the front desk.
Thank you. Second sub?
Yes, I do, and that really is the crux of the matter, is accessibility, because when people call, oftentimes the phone doesn't get answered, and my question is there somebody who's dedicated? My question is
the point of order.
Not a point of order. You have to take the point of order.
Oh.
Yes,
Mr. Speaker, and I do not want to quote. I cannot quote the exact standing order, but the member is making assumptions that the phones are not answered. She would have to bring proof of that. My team has guaranteed me that the phones do get answered.
Yes. Members, the minister is re-emphasizing the fact that his team tries their very best to answer every call.
I'm sure that the team does, but the reality is it doesn't actually work out that way in many cases. And I can tell you, I have made efforts to call the planning department on behalf of other people, and I haven't been able to get through. So, everybody should be able to get an answer and be heard, and that is not what's happening in reality.
That's what's was there a question?
My question is, does the minister accept that? And if so, what is going to be done about it?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't understand. I'm trying my very best to figure out what is being asked here. If you call and you do not get an answer, you call back until you get an answer. If 100 people are calling at the same time, obviously they cannot call. They cannot answer 100 people at the identical time. And if you call and you don't get someone, or you leave a message, you will get called back. But if you call and you don't reach anyone, you call back and someone will answer the phone, Mr. Speaker. That's all I can offer.
Okay.
Supplemental? I have a supplemental, Mr. Speaker.
You have a supplemental?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
We take your supplemental.
Would the minister accept that perhaps as a minister, the responses that he gets from the planning department are perhaps a lot faster than the general public, who often have to wait a long time, or their questions or messages are lost and not picked up? Thank you.
What's the question?
I'm trying to put that in the right context for a response. The question is,
some government departments are more responsive to ministers.
You're trying to clarify.
May I re-ask it, Mr. Speaker? Perhaps I'll try to clarify it.
Okay, if you can clarify it a bit more.
Would the honourable minister accept that perhaps his experience with the planning department results in much more responsive answers to his questions than the general public, who our constituents are telling us their messages are often not responded to? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the answer to that is simply no. The public gets much more faster response than the minister does.
Thank you, Member. Your second question.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the honourable minister please inform this honourable House about how many complaints the planning department has received since the pandemic regarding residentially zoned properties being used for commercial purposes, including concerns about increased traffic, storage of commercial materials, and even light industrial activities?
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, it is estimated between 30 and 40 requests for investigations have been received since March 1st, 2020, relating to commercial activities or businesses operating within residential zones. Approximately 10 of these matters have escalated to code cases for further investigation and enforcement action.
Supplementary.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And what enforcement activities are taking place in the ones that obviously are official, are proper cases?
Mr. Speaker, enforcement cases could result in fines, civil penalties. It could result in having to apply for retroactive applications or proper planning applications to receive permission for whatever's going on.
Supplementary?
Yes, I do, and this kind of ties back to my original question. This problem is obviously even more difficult for seniors who may not be being heard, and what's being done to protect their properties and their quality of life in homes where their access they're being delayed because there's construction equipment moving in and out of a property that's landlocked by houses around that, and I believe there are some cases like that. So my question is, for a senior who can't navigate the portal and maybe isn't having the phone answered at a regular time and on a regular basis and as it's needed, what is being done to help them navigate the problems that they may be having?
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, again, there is a process for reporting things that you feel are against planning there is my voice. Mr. Speaker, there is a process for reporting activities that people may deem as illegal, as we've had as I detailed complaints as such. But Mr. Speaker, it is obvious this line of questioning is speaking to a specific or maybe a couple of specific cases. I remind that member that I remain available for her to send me those specific cases, and I will do the investigation myself. It's a simple process, Mr. Speaker, and I get it all the time, where persons will say, I think I'm having an issue with something that's going on in the Department of Planning. Could you actually look into that? And then when we tend to look into it, it tends to come down to the person doesn't like what they've been hearing from the Department of Planning, and they would like further action. That's probably most of the cases. However, I stand here today and offer anyone on that side, if they have an issue and they wish to come and talk to me directly, we can work it out, Mr. Speaker. We don't have to have this back and forth and innuendos of I've been speaking to dozens of people and this is what's happening.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
It could possibly be anyone.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
Yeah, standing order 1911F is impugning improper motive. It is not innuendo. It is a recitation of fact. And I'm sure they have constituents that are coming to them and say, hey, MP so-and-so, I'm calling this department, and no one calls me back. So I do not appreciate that.
What was missed there was that the minister was offering a solution to the member, saying, if anybody has a problem, no, he said, if anybody has a problem, please contact him. And he'll assist the member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But the innuendo is that we are making these things up. It is not innuendo. It is factual information we receive from the voters. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The minister offered a help to any member. I take your point. I don't want to miss what was offered. The offer was to any member, if your constituent is calling you about something that's bothering them. In the process, the minister said he's prepared to help any member. I don't want that piece lost in there. Okay? Your third question. Third question, member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the Honourable Minister please provide this Honourable House with an update on the status of future plans for the use of Southlands Park, given that the Development Applications Board, the DAB, sided with environmental groups and the public's opposition to having a zipline facility in the park?
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this question. It allows me to provide some clarity on some things that happen in planning that people tend to misinterpret. Mr. Speaker, the DAB does not side with objectors, but rather resolves to agree with the department's recommendation that's contained within the report, which is publicly accessible on their customer site. However, the question about development at Southlands Parks is not for the Department of Planning. That is for the Department of Public Works, Public Lands and Buildings, or the Public of Parks to answer, because they're the ones that would be making applications for development.
Supplementary?
Yes. So I guess my question is, who is the final arbiter in the decision about whether or not there's going to be a zipline facility in Southlands Park?
Mr. Speaker, once again, an opportunity to educate. You make an application to the Department of Planning. It is vetted by the Department of Planning and the planners. They make a recommendation on what the decision should be on that. That decision is then passed on, given to the Development Applications Board, which looks at the report, which looks at what has been submitted by the applicant, and they are the ones that make the final decision on whether planning permission is granted or not. As we do know, there is an appeal process that can take place if, and that can be if it's been refused or if it's been approved. Someone can appeal that particular decision, and that decision then goes to the minister. And that is the process of how planning applications are adjudicated within the Department of Planning.
Thank you. Supplementary?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So given what the minister has just described, my question is, what is the status of Southlands, the application that has been put forth by the Zipline enterprise for Southlands?
Minister, go ahead. Mr. Speaker, as that member started her very first question, the electronic system within the Department of Planning is quite extensive and quite open, and that the status of that application is in the public domain. You just have to go to the website, look up that planning number, and it will give you everything that's happening with that planning application.
Thank you. That's completed all your supplementaries and your questions. That brings us, members, to an end of the written questions for today. We'll now move on to questions that were generated from the statements that were given this morning. And the first statements this morning, or the first statement that has questions this morning.
Excuse me, Mr. Speaker. I had my questions. Had a bathroom break. I didn't want to go ahead and...
Mr. King, you're back in. Yes? Okay.
I'm wondering if,
MP,
I might have an opportunity to ask questions.
MP King was absent at the time. He had stepped out to the bathroom. Minister, I think the questions are directed to him.
Yeah. No, the questions are for the Junior Minister of Justice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. MP King, you have questions in this morning that require oral response. You can put your first question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And thank you for allowing the questions as well. Will the Junior Minister please provide for this inform this honorable House which recommendations contained within the Department of Corrections Review Panel Report have been fully implemented, which remain outstanding, the reasons for any delays, and the anticipated completion date for each outstanding recommendation?
Junior Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, MP King, for your questions. Mr. Speaker, I thank the honorable member for his questions. I will remind the House that it was this government that commissioned the independent review, tabled the panel's report in full, and confronted its findings with candor. We invited the scrutiny. The report contains 75 recommendations, and every one of them is being actioned through a live post-inspection action plan developed jointly by the Department of Corrections and the Prison Officers Association with direct support from the United Kingdom Ministry of Justice. Each recommendation carries a responsible... Thank you. Each recommendation carries a responsible officer, a target date, and an evidential standard. Several recommendations have already been completed or reflect commended good practice being sustained. Others are in active delivery with target dates in this current quarter. And the remainder are tied to the budget cycle or, in one case, to legislative change. Where original dates have slipped, the causes of very staffing pressures the report itself identified, together with operational priorities and the scheduling of UK specialist support and revised timelines, have been set under active management. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, in her ministerial statement to the Senate on the 20th of May, 2026, committed to reporting on this reform program quarterly, and she remains fully committed to doing so. The detailed account the Honorable Member seeks will be provided as part of that promised quarterly update. That is the appropriate vehicle for information of that depth. It is already committed and will be honored. This government set the standard of accountability on corrections reform, Mr. Speaker, and it will keep it.
Supplementary.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. I thank the junior minister for his response. Understanding that the issues at the Department of Corrections to include the safety of officers and inmates, infrastructure, potential human rights violations through lack of programming, and staff being overworked due to lack of staff, and the commensurate risk to mental and physical health, which three areas of the which three recommendations were given priority to be dealt with immediately? I know that you said there were 75 recommendations, and out of the 75, there must have been some triage which identified things that needed to happen within the next 6 months. So I'm hoping that the minister can provide clarification on that.
Thank you, Member. Mr. Speaker, as we know, the substantive minister sits in another place, and I do not want to speak out of place on her behalf, so those questions can be noted, and hopefully we can get a response back to that member.
You commit to providing a response to him?
Yes, commit to providing a response.
Supplementary or your second question?
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker. Would the junior minister agree to submit the answers to those questions for the next sitting of the House?
I will have to be guided by the minister, but hopefully this substantive minister.
Second question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Will the junior minister please advise the Honourable House what measurable improvements have been achieved since the publication of the Department of Corrections Review Panel report with respect to safety and security of correctional officers, assaults and violence within correctional facilities, staff recruitment and retention, inmate rehabilitation outcomes, and recidivism?
Junior Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me first say how this government approaches measurement. We will report real data on internationally accepted standards on a consistent quarterly basis, as this House deserves honest measurement. In that spirit, I take each limb in turn. A, safety and security of correctional officers. Officer safety remains a significant concern, and I will not pretend the risk has yet measurably decreased. What has changed is the foundation. An HMPPS specialist security team is on island this month to drive security enhancements. The head of national locking recommendations are being progressed. Monthly meetings with Works and Engineering are prioritizing security critical repairs, and a condition survey of all facilities is currently underway. Measurable improvement will follow this work, and the data will be reported as it develops. B, assaults and violence within correctional facilities. The position is the same, Mr. Speaker, and I say so plainly. Risk levels within the facilities have not yet measurably decreased. The security enhancement initiatives being delivered with the HMPPS security team are designed precisely to mitigate those risks, and trend data on assaults and violence will come to this House through the quarterly reporting cycle. C, staff recruitment and retention. Recruitment of correctional officers is actively underway with preliminary assessments completed. The HMPPS staff profiling team completed a full workforce profiling exercise on island from 12th to the 19th of May, and its formal report will drive smarter deployment. 2 officers are in the Overseas Territories Next Generation Prison Leadership Program, including UK investigation training. An independent staff engagement survey will run this fiscal year, and supplemental funding has been approved by Cabinet for dedicated maintenance staff to relieve operational pressure.
Supplementary or?
Not finished. All the answers got cut off, Mr. Speaker, so I have to go digital. D, Mr. Speaker, inmate rehabilitation outcomes. Rehabilitative opportunity is expanding. Bermuda College A-PACE courses are available now. Additional programs aligned to the college's academic year are targeted for September, with open university discussions broadening tertiary options. The Right Living House therapeutic community continues its structured substance misuse support, and Narcotics Anonymous support is being extended to remand inmates for the first time. There are also efforts to engage inmates actively in the development of key initiatives. As several initiatives remain in implementation, assessing overall effectiveness today would be premature. Key performance indicators will be established and measured once implementation matures and the results will be reported to this House. And E, recidivism. Recidivism is, by definition, a lagging indicator, and insufficient time has passed for any change in reoffending to be measurable.
Supplementary or your third question? Third question.
Supplementary.
Okay.
I took on board that the junior minister said that they report on the data, and that's appropriate. Question I have is, how is the data going to be used? What are the key performance indicators, and what is the reduction percentage that we're looking for in particular areas? What is the performance measurement that we're going to be using by percentage in terms of reduction of recidivism and other areas as well?
Thank you, Member. As I stated previously, Member, I will have to defer to the substantive minister and hopefully can provide the responses to you.
Second, third question.
Third question, Mr. Speaker. Will the Honourable Junior Minister inform this Honourable House whether the government has sought independent implementation oversight or technical assistance from His Majesty's Prison Service or other internationally recognized corrections authority to ensure that recommendations of the Department of Corrections Review Panel report are fully implemented and consistent with international best practice? And if not, why not?
Junior Minister?
Mr. Speaker, the answer is yes. The Ministry of Justice has established an oversight committee drawn from the Department of Corrections, Prison Officers Association, and relevant subject matter experts. Additionally, there are regular engagements, virtual and on island, with a UK Ministry of Justice representative who is providing direct implementation support. An Overseas Territories Prison Advisor is coordinating specialist training. The HMPPS staff profiling team completed its workforce exercise on island in May, and 2 officers are enrolled in the Overseas Territories Next Generation Prison Leadership Program with UK-based investigation training.
Supplementary or?
Supplementary.
Okay.
Will the person or persons responsible for oversight be stationed in Bermuda for a period of 1 to 3 years to ensure that the recommendations are implemented? Because what we do know is that the advice and counsel of consultants is sought, information and data is received, proposals on how to resolve issues, and then it falls apart because of the lack of oversight and ensuring that the projected targets are achieved. So the question I'm asking is, will a person, the representative, be stationed in Bermuda for a period of 1 to 3 years to ensure recommendations are implemented? That's my final question. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Speaker. As mentioned again, Member, I will defer to the substantive minister to get a response to your question. Thank you for your questions.
Now, members, that brings us to the close of the written questions this morning. We have about half the time has been consumed, but we do have 32 minutes left, and we'll go to the questions from the statements this morning. The first question, first statement that has questions this morning is a statement from the Minister of Youth, Social Development and Sport. Minister, your first statement, and you have members who wish to ask questions in regard to that statement. And the first question is from MP Tucker. MP Tucker?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is, first of all, the minister mentioned that 10 families were referred to the Family Preservation Program. And she also mentioned that other families are in progress for referral. So I just wanted to know what that number of families was that are currently in process for referral. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do not have that answer, but I will endeavor to get that answer for the member.
Thank you. Do you have a supplementary or second question?
No, Mr. Speaker, I do have a second question.
Sure, go right ahead.
Second question is, can the minister tell us what the family to staff ratio is, please, for that particular program?
Okay. Minister?
The program has, Mr. Speaker, 3 social workers and 3 social work assistants, currently with capacity of between 8 and 10 families each.
Thank you. Supplementary or new question?
Supplementary. Thank you to the minister. Just wanted to know if that's international best practice.
Minister?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Yep.
Great.
Supplementary or third question?
Supplementary, please, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
I would just like to know if the if the number of staff is sufficient to meet the growing demand. So is it sufficient for now? Or because the demands keep growing, are they looking to, or will they be looking to hire additional staff? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a new program, and programs under government are constantly under evaluation to see whether or not new staff are required. But right now, we know that it is sufficient staff. Once our numbers increase, we can make a better evaluation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. Third question?
Just a supplemental, please.
Supplemental on that?
On that particular.
Well, you had to do supplemental.
Oh, did I? Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
That's why I third question.
Okay, third question then. I just want to know, as the demands increase, does the ministry have anything in place to ensure that staff don't experience burnout, particularly in circumstances where dealing with high-risk families is quite difficult? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There are governmental processes that every government area that has human resources would go through, where if more staff is required, there are processes where we have to apply for staff. So there are processes in place that if we needed staff, we could seek out staff. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary?
No, Mr. Speaker, but I would like to clarify because the response wasn't actually what I was asking. I was speaking about the existing staff and potential burnout having to deal with high at-risk families and what the ministry had in place to ensure that staff did not experience burnout, or if they did, what was sort of that process for care for the staff?
Is there a support system?
Yes, please. Thank you, Mr.
staff?
Speaker.
Okay. Minister?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. In every government department, there's a support program that is EAP if any staff experience burnout. This is a new program, Mr. Speaker. The staff are quite excited and engaged and are loving the opportunity to be able to establish rapport with their clients. The staff know that if they are experiencing burnout, that they can reach out to their relevant managers, supervisors, to be able to get support. But there are also, I'd like to reiterate, there are processes in place for our governmental human resources to explore assistance for more staff should that need arise. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Do I have one last supplemental, or am I done? Yeah. I'm done? Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. The MP King also has questions for you on that. MP King?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Regarding the Family Preservation Program, technically, it's not really a new program. It's essentially the souped-up version of the CMIP program. Would I be correct in in saying that?
The question is it just an upgraded version of an older program? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, as opposed to souped up. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, let me see what the staff say about their souped up program. Mr. Speaker, it is a program that has been modeled off of the CMIT program. I would say that it is a new program because the CMIT program has not been in place for a number of years. The staff, like I mentioned already in my ministerial statement, have undergone different extensive training for this particular program. And
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order?
The minister has actually answered the question. She said yes. So I would like to get into my questions. No, Mr. Speaker. What the minister said was that the question.
Wait. No. I'm saying, you said you got the answer you're looking for?
Yes, the minister basically said that it's essentially a new improved version of the CMIT program. The additional information was already shared before about the specific training.
Okay, so you're satisfied you got your answer?
Yeah,
Okay,
that was fine.
Can I finish?
Minister, I'm not sure where he got it, but he got the answer. You want to add to that?
yes, I would, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just also want to add that the program is definitely a modified version to address our current needs and our current trends and clients that we currently have relationships with. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Member, do you now have a supplementary you'd like to put to that, or new
I do have a supplementary. Yes, sir. Understanding that the program has been improved, and it ought to be, in everything that we do, we must seek improvement to make sure that we are meeting the needs of the community.
What's your question?
What specific key performance indicators are going to show that the program has been successful?
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for that question. Every family that engages within the services of Family Preservation Tier 2 undergoes assessments and benchmarks, as well as a individual plan in which goals and objectives have to be achieved. And so by those particular measures, Mr. Speaker, the team is able to collect data and to follow the progress of our families.
Supplementary or new question? Second sub or new question?
Second sub. If we accept that the number of persons requiring services has increased, it would suggest that we need to determine what the problem is. Why are more persons in need of the service? So what percentage of reduction in persons receiving services or requiring services is the ministry seeking to achieve over the period of 12 months? Is it a reduction of 10%, 12%, 25%? Thank you.
Minister?
Mr. Speaker, this program is a support program for families who require that support. I'm not going to make a prediction in regards to what the reduction what the reductions would look like for particular families, as we do see families fluctuate, come in for support, then they can be released and then they can come back or are discharged. But it is a program to assist families when there are needs when their needs come about. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. There's your two subs on that. Would you like to ask the second question?
Second question, Mr. Speaker. Understanding that more persons are requiring services, the CMIT program, what program is it modeled off, whether it be locally or other jurisdictions, to show that this approach will work and achieve the required performance.
Minister?
Mr. Speaker, in my ministerial statement, I did speak to this being a intensive community-based model of family intervention, recognizing that every jurisdiction is different and has different characteristics, Mr. Speaker. The program has pre- and post-assessment, pre- and post-interventions, and we will continue to track ongoing progress, which I will commit to come back to this House to share, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary or new question?
Supplemental.
Okay.
If after 2 years the program is receiving more persons are entering the program than leaving it, what accountability and review measures processes will be implemented to make sure that there is a reduction of persons requiring services? So if after a year and 2 years we're seeing more people are entering, what review process will be put in place to ensure that we are achieving the goal of having families who are empowered, not requiring these specific intensive services? That's my final question. Thank you.
Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't see having more persons utilizing this service as a bad thing, Mr. Speaker. We will probably see more families utilizing the services because it wasn't a service that exists before. And so we should be hearing from our members across the way that great that this program has now been put in place to support our families. Mr. Speaker, so in 2 years, I have no doubt that our numbers will increase. And we will also track, like we do and report in our budgeting cycle, families that are what our intake is and what our discharge rate is. And so I will report back to this House, particularly during budget debate, in regards to what those numbers will look like.
Thank you. And the member indicated he had no further questions. Thank you. Minister, that's the end of questions for that statement. However, your second statement, there are also questions. A member wants to ask questions. And again, it's MP King. MP King, would you like a question for the second statement?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the Honourable Minister inform this Honourable House whether the government has assessed whether the findings of the October 2025 Department of Corrections panel report raise any human rights concerns under the Human Rights Act, 1981?
Minister?
Mr. Speaker, that question is a very specific matter that I would have to take back to the Human Rights Commission, but I will endeavor to get the answer for that question. I don't have that answer right now.
Supplementary or second question?
Second question.
Yeah.
Will the Honourable Minister advise which recommendations made by the Human Rights Commission in its 2023 and 2024 annual reports have been fully implemented by government?
Minister?
Mr. Speaker, I would also ask for specifics as it relates to this. We are constantly, which you'll see, I tabled in the House today, some changes to the human rights legislation, and we work very closely with the Human Rights Office in advancing human rights legislation and policy.
Supplementary?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. If complaints of discrimination continue to increase, does the minister accept that government's actions have yet achieved their intended outcome?
Mr. Speaker, discrimination is all around us. People stereotype, Mr. Speaker. The Human Rights Commission has demonstrated in their annual reports the amount of work that they do put into our community with educating. I think actually the work that they are putting in with educating our community and our public is increasing the amount of questions and intake opportunities that do come through the commission. So they're doing their work, Mr. Speaker, and they are educating our community. So again, the increase in numbers is not necessarily a bad thing. If you also take the opportunity to read the report, you will see that many of the cases, the case summaries have been dropped, the matters have been worked out. Every opportunity to interact with the Human Rights Commission is an opportunity for education and reducing how people respect and discriminate against one another.
Second sub or third question?
Third question.
Okay.
So, my question is, does the minister accept that when there are more persons who require services, that this is an indication that the ministry objectives are being achieved? So more persons requiring government services is an indication that the approaches are working.
Minister?
Mr. Speaker, people could be more aware of the services that are available, and they are seeking support. Mr. Speaker, seeking support is not a bad thing.
Say it again.
It is not a bad thing. Our numbers are just reporting that more people are coming forward to get the support that they need, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplement, seconds. That was your third question.
Yeah.
First sub on the third question?
First sub and third question. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the minister accept that the approach required to reduce the number of persons requiring the CEMA cross-ministry intervention team intensive services would require a holistic approach that goes across other ministries, working collectively to address the underlying concerns?
Minister?
Mr. Speaker, these questions are supposed to be for the Human Rights Annual Report. We have finished the family preservation questions.
Yes. Yep. Okay. The member acknowledged it. Fine. Okay. Thank you, member and minister. There's three final questions for that statement. However, the next statement that has questions is the statement by the Minister of Health, and Minister MP Pierman would like to put questions to you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the Honorable and Learned Minister for her statement today, and I've raised my question with her in advance so she is aware it's coming. The statement today used the expression stop lists. It was in quotes, but there is a common misconception in Bermuda that there are such a thing as stops lists when in fact there are not. And I know that at least on our side, we've had several meetings since I've been an MP with various representatives of the United States inviting us to really clarify that there aren't such a thing as stop lists. There's just restrictions on immigration. And I'd invite the minister just to clarify that for the general public. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank the honorable and learned member for that clarification. I did indicate that it was a commonly referred to language. However, to be precise, the correct U.S. immigration law language is inadmissibility or denial of entry. And I will endeavor to A, correct the record, and B, use that terminology moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. No more questions? No? Okay. Members, that brings us to an end of the questions of the statements today, which brings us to an end of the question period. Thank you for your participation, members and ministers. And now we'll move on to the next item on the order paper, which is the congratulatory and obituary speeches. And does any member, MP Swan, would you like your 3 minutes?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
You're right ahead, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I want to start off by expressing profound condolences to the family of the late Rakai Puji Rana. I associate all my colleagues and everybody in this entire house is the brother of my cousin, Honorable Minister Jashay. It was a very tragic loss, and it has hit his family very, very hard. And I happen to know the Rana family. I know the Adams family very well, Simon's family. And I just pray that the comfort they need will be provided. In looking at the paper, I recognized the face, Miss Frances Smith Baker, who I knew from my aerial sands days running golf events for the Bermuda government way back 40 years ago. And I looked, I said, she was the executive housekeeper for aerial sands. I just looked to make sure that somebody mentioned aerial sands, and there they were, the old aerial sands family, that great hotel property down on the South Shore that once was there, Mr. Speaker. On a happier note, I had the honor of witnessing a historic victory of a young lady, aged 19, win the Bermuda Ladies Amateur Championship on the same week that her mentor, who taught her at age 8, won the Bermuda Open Championship 48 years prior, and I caddied for her. Her name is Sienna Mosquera. She shot a record 67 on the second round of Port Royal. She had such a big lead. Sometimes you have to imagine what you do when you're that far in front, but that's an experience you only get once in your life, and she won very admirably. And overseas, Dorina Bashard, who I witnessed put a golf club in her hand at age 3, was down playing golf, representing Bermuda in the Caribbean Junior Championships, where Bermuda is now a full member of that association in Dominican Republic, and she won the girls under 15 championship. Her brother Oliver has done great work in golf, being coached by a childhood colleague of mine, David Ogren, who is in Texas. And they both find themselves over there with their parents, who I salute the efforts of their parents. Both of these children, the key to their success is their parental support, their talent, but the support that they get from their parents. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, MP Swan. Junior Minister Lister, would you like your 3 minutes?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to start off my 3 minutes to send condolences to a number of families, and please do apologize if it was in rush. Mr. Speaker, to the family of Ms. Carol Bassett, who passed recently, Associate Minister Darrow, Minister De Silva, and Minister Rabin, and also to the whole House, Mr. Speaker. Also, Mr. Speaker, to the family of Miss Lorraine Simons, who passed, mother of Associate MP De Silva, Associate the whole House again, Mr. Speaker, mother of very well-known Mr. Owen Simons, who's musically talented. Also, I would like to also send condolences to the family of Miss Tamoy Anne-Marie Simons, Mr. Speaker, who I attended church with, and also Bermuda Institute for a time. And then to a constituent of mine, I'd like to send condolences to the family of Mr. Coolidge Hayward, Associate MP Wilmot. And I'd like to also just associate condolences and remarks with associate my remarks with the condolences to young Rakai Paji Rayner. So, Mr. Speaker, again, it's always sad to hear of when a person passes, no matter what age. So we'd like to, again, send sentiments of condolence to the families. On a lighter note, Mr. Speaker, this past week I had the opportunity to attend 2 youth events. First of all, on this past Wednesday, and I will associate the Minister of Youth and Seniors, and please correct me if I got it wrong. They held the National Youth Debate on Wednesday in these chambers, where present Youth Parliament members got to debate against former Youth Parliament members, and the topic of the debate was, should we lower the voting age to 16, Mr. Speaker? A very good debate. Unfortunately, I wasn't there at the end to see who won the debate or find out who won the debate, but I think all speakers contributed well to it, and it's look forward for the young people of Bermuda. We have hope that there are young people interested in politics and can freely speak their mind on issues. and Associate MP Dakuda, who is also in attendance. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I will associate Minister Raban. This Sunday going, I had the privilege to be a judge at the Alpha Butillion, where we had 5 contestants. Mr. Maxwell Wallace from Summersfield Academy, Mr. Jalen Mitchell from Munson Agnes, Mr. Emil Trott from Work Academy, Mr. Tobiah Goodchild from Soltis Grammar School, and the winner, Mr. and I hope I got his name right, Kieran Smith of my alma mater, Bermuda Institute. So again, it's good to see young men participating and doing positive things and being recognized for it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Junior Minister. MP Robinson. MP Robinson, you have your 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to associate myself with the condolences, given that I know the Honourable Member Kim Swan had associated the House with the passing of Rakai Rayner, but I couldn't leave the House and head back to Riviera without extending specifically the condolences on behalf of Riviera and that community, which I am a part of, in its profound loss of Rakai, and how all of us have noticed the water truck is not in his yard has been quite jarring for most of us. And, you know, he also was one of the inspirations behind why my son is into electric bikes and dirt bikes. So it is a loss that they are feeling profoundly, and the Riviera community has expressed it to Miss Adams and to Mr. Tucker, Mr. Rayner, sorry, about their specific losses and instances that they had interactions with Rakai in the neighborhood and how much of an impact he had on the surrounding area. And as the MP, I couldn't park my car home and not have words today to associate. In moments like this, it's important to remind ourselves that we are colleagues and that we can reach across the aisle in moments of tragedy like this and loss of life within each of our families, and try to comfort one another and look out for each other during these tough times. So I just send strength to Minister Adams' family in this tough time, and hope that they are receiving the adequate support from all who knew Rakai. And on a more lighter note, I wasn't present last session, and I'm sure that there were congratulations given to the graduation of the Barclay Institute. But I had a special graduate, my little brother, who was involved in that, and I wanted to publicly give congratulations to the graduates of Barclay Institute and him specifically, and also to the graduations of. I'm not gonna say his name. He gets embarrassed. But and also to associate myself with the graduation for Cedar Bridge Academy, because that wasn't saying. Oh well, congratulations to the City Bridge Academy graduates, my alma mater. You know, I couldn't congratulate Barclay about congratulating Cedar Bridge Academy, and I wish all of those students a bright and wondrous future. Thank you.
Deputy Speaker, you have your 3 minutes.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, to the House and the listening public. I just have congratulatory remarks. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of the recipients who received awards or scholarships from the Bermuda Hospitals Board. I will go ahead, even though she's not in her seat, and associate the Minister of Health. Oh, I didn't see. I do apologize. I didn't. I couldn't see your hand. I will associate the Minister of Health with these remarks. You know, we need, especially when it comes to mental health, and that the population of the suffering from mental health has grown, and so we need our young Bermudians to definitely equip themselves in the field of health so that all of Bermuda benefits from that. So I was happy to see that quite a few persons were recipients of the awards coming from the hospital board. I would also like to not associate myself, I would like to give congratulatory remarks to the recipients of scholarships from the Bermuda's Arts Council. And through culture, we are able to express our voices in many different ways regarding what goes on in the public at large. And it is good that we encourage our creatives to go out and do some of the work that they do. And I would like to say a special congratulations to Mr. Devray Danwitty, who is the father of my youngest grandchild. He was one of the recipients. I would also like to associate myself with the graduation for Cedar Bridge Academy, because I had put that down to speak to first. But MP Robinson beat me to it. No. An excellent cadre of graduates. I think it was, I don't know if the current minister can speak to the number of young people that, it was 90-something. It was 92 graduates. And we had many of them received all sorts of scholarships. And so it's bodes well for our public schools. Our children are still doing a great job. And I was delighted to see how many young people operated in a way that they were able to get so many of the private scholarships as well as the public scholarships that we offer to our students. So kudos to our young graduates. And on that note, I'll associate the Minister of Education. On that note, I take my seat, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. MP, Opposition Leader, MP Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to be associated with the congratulatory remarks that MP Fogo just gave on Cedar Bridge Academy's graduation. I also was in attendance there. Congratulations to all of them and what they'll be doing in the future. But I'd like to make special note of there was a musical component between two young people that really showed a talent level that and as somebody that grew up in a musical household, seeing those two young people sing the way they did, and we also got to hear the steel pans that played, really impressive. Looking forward to see them maybe continue that on and bring Bermuda music back, because I think that would be really important for us to continue to see that growth. Mr. Speaker, I also like to give congratulations to a mother and son that are actually over in the UK dealing with football. First is Naeem Zul, who has just been given, he's one of the scholars for the Bolton Wanderers. This is a under-17 youth football player that has continued to progress, and this next step for him is encouraging as we have our young people in different places trying to take their sport prowess further. But with that, his mother has also just had the opportunity to become a football agent in the UK. It's a very difficult testing that they have to go through in order to reach that level, and only 5% of sports agents for football are actually female, so it's a double congratulations to Carla Zul for that accomplishment. And I associate everybody on our side for sure. But, Mr. Speaker, I would not be able to take my seat if I did not give special birthday wishes to my mother, 89 years old this year. And I know that as a strong Somerset woman, she'll be looking forward to us taking the cup back later on this year. She had on her red yesterday on her birthday, and I'm looking forward to her having that celebration. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. MP Weeks, you had jumped up before and up again.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Did the member sitting next to you congratulate Somerset that I heard?
No.
It sounded like up here that time.
No. She refuses to keep quiet too, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to extend my heartfelt congratulations and deepest gratitude to Mr. Franco Harris for his outstanding research into gang violence, focusing specifically on the unique dynamics and challenges of island life in Bermuda. Over the last few years, Mr. Speaker, when I sat in a different place, I have had the distinct pleasure of working closely with Mr. Harris, both locally, here on the ground, and remotely. Throughout this collaboration, his dedication, his professionalism, and academic rigor have been nothing short of exemplary. It is also worth noting, Mr. Speaker, that Mr. Harris is currently completing his doctoral studies, and this vital research forms a cornerstone of his advanced academic pursuits. Mr. Speaker, the impact of Mr. Harris's work already extends far beyond our shores. He recently had the distinct honor of delivering a presentation on his findings in London to police commissioners from across the British Overseas Territories. This international platform underscores the global relevance of his research, proving that the insights gained here in Bermuda are helping to shape the policing and security discourse across the entire region. Mr. Speaker, gang violence is a complex, multifaceted issue. What makes Mr. Harris's work so vital is its localized lens, examining how the distinct geographic, social, and economic realities of an island ecosystem shape these challenges. The insights he has generated have provided the Ministry of National Security with invaluable data and actionable perspectives. This is practical truth that will directly inform our policy development, Mr. Speaker, community outreach, and strategic interventions moving forward. So on behalf of my former Ministry of National Security, and I would definitely associate those in the entire House, and the Governor of Bermuda, I want to formally thank Mr. Harris over these last couple of years for his tireless efforts. His work is a major asset to our ongoing mission to create a safer, more secure Bermuda. I ask this Honorable House to join me in congratulating Mr. Franco Harris on the successful completion of this vital study, celebrating this milestone in his doctoral journey, and wishing him continued success in all of his future endeavors. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, MP. Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd first like to send congratulations to MP Michael Weeks for that beautiful black and gold tie that he's wearing today. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to be associated with the comments given for the passing of Ms. Carol Bassett. Ms. Carol Bassett is a longtime educator in the Bermuda public school system, coming from the classroom all the way through the work that she did within the Department of Education. But Mr. Speaker, she also leaves behind a teaching dynasty, as her son and I believe her two daughters are also teachers, or one daughter is also a teacher within the system. I'm not familiar with her daughter, but I do know of her son, LeVar, who was a critical member of the Education Reform Unit until he went back into the classroom over the last few years up at Cedar Bridge. Mr. Speaker, I'd also like to send condolences to the family of Roland Rocky Darrell, longtime resident and associate Robin, MP Tucker, longtime resident of the Devil's Hill area. Those of us who grew up down there, and I'm sure MP Tucker will find out there's a friendly rivalry between what we call D Alley and South Shore. And I grew up on D Alley, which is Somersault Road and Junkin Lane. But the Darrells are from Darrell Oval, which we fittingly later on we'll be discussing something around around Tucker's town, and they grew up on Darrell's Oval, which is named after that family where some of the original cricket games for Eastern County actually took place over there. Mr. Speaker, I'd also like to send congratulations again to all of the high schools that demonstrated and associate myself with the congratulations to the graduates that walked across. But, Mr. Speaker, this was a special graduation. This graduation signaled the first cohorts that have passed through the new Signature Learning Program system, and they are the first recipients of the Signature Learning Diplomas. And so this is a special moment in my previous stint in the role that I do occupy that was brought into fruition. And I was extremely proud to be able to witness the first recipients walk across the stage with those particular diplomas. It was also a very special moment for me at Cedar Bridge, in which I presented the inaugural Vincent Rebane Excellence in Trades Awards. We often talk about bringing trades back to our schools, and trades and services is one of the signature learning programs at the Cedar Bridge Academy, which specifically gives students an opportunity to expose themselves to the various trades throughout Bermuda. And I was privileged that the first recipient is studying to be an electrician, which my father was a certified master electrician. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Minister?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like the House to send a letter of condolences to the family of Miss Paulette Smith. Miss Paulette Smith was a constituent of mine, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to associate MP Weeks. She was a constituent of mine, and I'd like to tell a brief story that many of us may have also encountered. That when I first started canvassing, Miss Smith's house was one of the first houses that I attended. And, you know, she, if anyone knows her, was very sharp with her tongue and very direct in how she felt. And at first I was taken aback, and I said, "Ooh, this is a little difficult." But she'd also always reach out to me, and she'd also always send me messages of encouragement. And I'd go back to her house, and she'd be sharp with her tongue again, and I'd say to her, "But Miss Smith, every time I come, you put my picture on your refrigerator." So at that point, I knew that we were definitely building a relationship. But it was the work that Miss Smith did in the community, Mr. Speaker. She, if anyone knows her, she was, although very direct, she was also private. But she was open about her medical journey that she was going through at the later stages of her life. And not only did she speak on it, she took that into action, and she was a very, very valued volunteer at the PALS, Mr. Speaker. And it was her, who I know PALS have been doing their walk for many, many years, but it was Miss Smith who encouraged me a couple of years ago to start the PALS walk. I continued it again this year, and if those of you would remember, I even took a visiting minister with me this year. And, you know, I had the fortunate, I guess some people would say unfortunate, kind of encounter where I was able to sit down and have a very lengthy conversation with her, just maybe days or weeks before her passing. And I will say that she left a very clear message for me. She left a very clear message for her daughter, and I'd like to send condolences to them, her son Anthony and her daughter Lucasia, her grandchildren, Tayshawn, Sienna, who also helped with my campaign, Amir, and Caius. But she left very clear instructions for all of us, what she wanted to be done after her time on this earth was complete. So I just wanted to get up and send condolences to her family and say that Paulette Smith was definitely a huge part of my journey as I started to be a representative. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. MP DeCudo?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I did previously associate with the Youth Parliament. Those who know me know I get quite set in my ways of thinking, and I did want to note that I was just about swayed by some of the arguments of the youth parliamentarians, and it was very impressive, so thank you. I did want to congratulate Bermudian sailor Sebastian Kemp. He won the Canadian National Championships in the ILCA 7, aka laser sailboat. That would be a highly competitive, just associate MP Swan. And for those who know, he is on a journey to qualify for the Olympics for Bermuda, and he's a former youth champion in that class as well. So congratulations to him. I also want to wish luck to Jessica Lewis. Most of you will know that she's a 4-time Paralympian for Bermuda, and she will be attending the Commonwealth Games and competing in the 400 meters, and that is the first time These games are including para athletics. So I want to wish her a lot of success. And of course, for the rest of the contingent, which is a long list of names, which will be familiar to many of us, so I will omit them for brevity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, member. Members, we are on that 12:30 mark. Are there any other members who wanted to give a condolence briefly, or you want to wait till we come back and continue? Because it looks like there are a few members getting up. So being there are a few members getting up, I'll suggest that we break now, and we'll continue the condolences and congratulatory remarks when we return from lunch. And Premier, would you like to just move the House to lunch?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move this honorable House to now adjourn until 2 p.m.
Are there any objections? There are none. Members, the House now stands adjourned for lunch until 2 p.m.
Bermuda Live on YouTube. Subscribe now. Bermuda Live on YouTube. Subscribe now.